His 4 cars currently on the outside looking in. And that was 30 years ago that happened to Bobby Rahal. So while we're in that commercial break, a lot has changed. Jack Harvey on the way back in said on the radio to the team, they had the discussion and they had the very brief decision making. We're going to go again. 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
I like it, Diff. This is Indy. I'm not going down without a fight. I'm going to keep swinging. Why not? Let's listen to some radio.
Yeah, absolutely. If we check for another run, do you need a balance adjustment? I just need to not be sliding around as much. Copy. Yeah, absolutely. If we get the balance right, we can go quicker.
Oh, so some optimism in these dying minutes for Jack Harvey.
Hey, look, with that consistency that he had, clearly the engine's at a point. I mean, you didn't get the benefit of the cool down lap.
Here's what I would be coaching my driver on right now. If I'm in charge of running the Jack Harvey program, I would tell my driver to start working the controls more aggressively. Start making some bolder changes. You know now after these 2 runs which direction your balance is going, which end is starting to slide. Beat the tires to the moment. Make the adjustments before the car tells you it needs it. That's your only chance.
You know what he's looking for? Not 2 miles an hour, 0.2 of a mile an hour. That was the margin between himself and Graham Rahal, between being in the Indy 500 or not. Now, is he gonna crush his teammate, or is he going to have to deal with the heartbreak?
Because Graham will not get a chance now with only a minute left on the clock. That gun will sound, and this is going to be it. But think about this, guys. Think about being on the highway. You're cruising around at 65 miles an hour on your cruise control. You bump it up to 66. Can you feel that at all? No. And Jack's looking for 1/5 of that difference over 10 miles.
Don't tell me what I can feel.
I know what you can and can't feel.
How about Graham Rahal? Can you imagine what it's like for him to just have to sit there and ponder
Practice one.
his reality right now? This is just crazy brutal for Graham Rahal.
I can remember like yesterday when Rahal Letterman Lanigan driver Michel Jourdain Jr. did not make the field. That was 10 years ago. He was in tears with his girlfriend at the time after it was all over. He couldn't believe he didn't make it. Which one of these 2 drivers is going to feel that anguish, that despair, that heartache and heartbreak here this afternoon? Time is officially up, but this run counts for Jack Harvey. Rahal does not have a chance to respond to whatever his teammate does.
And Graham very strategically staying in the race car, even though he's not allowed back out.
Green flag.
He wants that protection just in case this all goes south. Can Jack stay ahead of the tools? Can that Honda power plant produce just enough power even in this hot condition?
I'm watching both of those hands for Jack Harvey. They are locked on the steering wheel. That must mean he's happy with the balance. But like I said, think about trying to get ahead of the degradation of the tires.
Lap 1 from a balance standpoint looks pretty solid, Townsend. Not a lot of sliding, not a lot of corrections.
1 lap complete.
Here we go. 2:29.4. It's not as fast as what Graham Rahal's first lap was, but it doesn't mean that he's out of it.
You see Bobby Rahal shaking his head. I'm not sure what he's shaking at.
Remember,
is it doubting Jack's run? Is it doubting the performance of the team overall? What does he see? What is he thinking? Where does Jack Harvey really sit on pace?
just remember the consistency that he had in the end of that last run. If he found a trick to take care of these Firestones for those 4 laps, that 2:29.4, if he can keep it within a few tenths of a mile an hour degradation, that could be it.
Lap 2, 229 even. And that gives a 2-lap average of 229.2.
It was that 3rd lap that really impressed us in the last run, guys. If he can keep it at a 2:29 even, it's still going to be close.
On the front bar if you're still neutral.
See, there's the team telling him to make the adjustment as opposed to Jack making the adjustment. So that's based on the team scene data.
Credit to Jack Harvey and the People Ready team aboard the 30. They have not given in. They are fighting to the end. And the end is now. One more lap for Jack Harvey. Lap 2:29.1.
Wait a second. Maybe that adjustment was the difference. That right hand went down twice for the roll bar. And now Graham Rahal is at risk.
Graham Rahal's heart is in his throat, sitting in his race car. He is 2 corners away from knowing whether or not he will be in the greatest spectacle in racing.
This is a guy on the ropes, but he is swinging punches.
Hit your marks, Jack Harvey. Smooth hands, eyes up, and take a breath. You're about to find out if you're in the Indy 500.
Don't ever question the character of Britain's Jack Harvey. He's not giving up. Is he in the 500 or is he out? Jack Harvey's in! Jack Harvey is in the Indy 500. Graham Rahal is out. 30 years since his dad didn't make it. It's the same fate for Graham Rahal.
1/100th of a mile an hour was the difference.
Oh. Over, you are in the race.
What an incredible call.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Wow.
Incredible call from the 30 team to do that last run in the dying seconds.
It was not meant to be this way, but it is. The most dramatic final qualifying. The last chances, teammate on teammate. And Jack Harvey has bumped Graham Rahal out of the Indianapolis 500.
Bobby Rahal, I don't know if he knows what to feel right now.
It was a lose-lose situation, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Hopeless. But the timing of the suggestion from the pit stand for Jack Harvey to adjust his race car, think about the margin.
30 years. And the son now knows what the father felt. Graham says we gave it what we had and had to sit and watch a teammate bump him out. Marty Snyder is there. Extraordinary scenes, Marty.
Diff, the emotion down here in a class move by Graham Rahal. He literally hugged everybody on his team. A special hug from his dad, Bob. Tears down here as well. Boy, how helpless was that feeling, sitting in your car knowing you could do nothing if your teammate beat you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the difficult part. You know, you can't do anything. You can't run again. You know, you're kind of stuck there. But, you know, as I said to these guys, you just got to be positive, and everybody puts a lot into this. You know, we just came up short, and I felt like, you know, Jack and those, I'm surprised. You know, I think with the heat soak and stuff, I'm really surprised. But, you know, you got to be, this place, it doesn't come easy, and it doesn't just happen. And we weren't good enough. You know, we were the slowest of our cars, just on pure pace all week. And unfortunately that happens, but you know, you've got to be positive. You got to be humble and gracious in victory and defeat. This next year.
I can hear the emotion in your voice, obviously, Graham. How tough was this week for you personally to go through?
Well, you know, I knew from the start we were in trouble.
All right, Graham wants a moment, obviously, and obviously a ton of emotion down here, Kevin. I don't think anybody expected this. Even when this last chance qualifying started, Kevin, I don't think anybody thought Graham Rahal would be the one going home. And there you see the emotion, the tears on the side of his car.
And for Jack Harvey, when he was told he was in the Indianapolis 500, there was no scream of excitement, because I think he knows what it also meant. He and Graham are very close. Graham is one of the reasons why Jack Harvey is a part of this team. What are your emotions right now? You have qualified when it seemed impossible for the biggest race in the world.
I don't even know what to say, mate, honestly. It's a huge effort by the 30 car. All the guys who worked really hard to make this possible. I think it's no secret that it's been a struggle, and even honestly the first 2 runs in qualifying weren't awesome, and You know, the hope was that all three of our cars could make it. I hate that it was us who bumped Graham out, but I'm grateful to be in the race. This is such a privilege to be able to do this in the first place, and the stress of bump day is absolutely real, but it doesn't change my love for this place. I absolutely love it, and just grateful to be here, having another shot to try and compete.
This should be one of the greatest moments of your life. When it looked desperate, it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and it did, but the celebration is muted, I think, because of what it means for the team and what it means for Graham.
Oh, it's bittersweet, mate. I mean, you don't want to knock your teammate out. You know, I think the goal was to try and obviously get all three cars in, and any moment that we get to compete at this place, I just think is amazing. And I just got to say thanks to the whole 30 team. You know, our people ready car hasn't been the fastest, but you know, the work that they have put in, the grit that they show, the determination. And before the last run, I said to them, realistically, do you think we can even like improve? And they said, yeah, I think we can improve. So just ready for this day to be over, honestly.
Logically, it did not seem like it would be impossible to improve. Each run, the car should be slower. Where did you find the extra speed?
Just in a bit of balance, mate, honestly. I think the first run we were scrubbing too much, and you know, I was kind of neutral. I was kind of neutral in the second run as well. So just, I mean, honestly, we only had time for a quick wind change and went out again. And I mean, just the format of this, you know, kind of sucks. You know, we got 3 efforts. None of the other cars even got 1, which I guess is testament that they had a better first run than us. But yeah, I don't know. It's an amazing feeling and an awful feeling at the same time.
Congratulations. He may be from England, but this is now a hometown race for Jack Harvey, who's lived in Indy the last 10 years, and he's in the Indy 500.
Harvey showing tremendous grit and determination, but as he said, a bittersweet sweet feeling. Graham Rahal out of the Indy 500.